In this video, I'm going to break down the 10 most common entrepreneur limiting beliefs that I've seen working and helping entrepreneurs scale from $0 to $10,000 a month, $10 to $100,000 a month, and then $100 to $300,000 a month.
Within 4 months, I was making $10K a month, and now I'm able to travel the world. I'm living in California right now, bouncing around between Airbnbs.
We went from making about $5,000 a month to hitting $40,000.
Imagine going from zero business knowledge, not starting a business at all, to making $46,000 in 3 weeks and winning the school games.
Number one, why am I afraid to share success stories online even though they could inspire and attract clients? Yeah, often we're so worried about seeming salesy and coming off too strong, especially with our current audience, that we kind of hesitate when it comes to sharing success stories and attracting the people we want to attract. We're so busy worrying about what the people who are currently watching us think and are gonna think, and we're not spending enough time realizing we need to attract the people we actually want to help. The people who are watching now don't really want to be helped. The people you're trying to help actually need to be helped. So we need to switch the frame, and instead of thinking about ourselves, thinking about how we're perceived, think about how we can serve. It's not about us. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if we want to be coaches, then it's a pretty thankless job. It's putting aside what we're comfortable with and becoming uncomfortable. Just like when Jesus was walking on water, right? Peter was on the boat and he was like, God, I'm scared. Call to me and I'll step out of the boat. And so Jesus called him off of the boat. And then Peter was in and he's like, dude, I'm scared. And Jesus had to grab him, right? That's our job. Right? Not to be blasphemous, but that is our job. It's not thinking about all how people are going to perceive us. It's there are people who are going to drown if we don't help. And so if your goal is to help people make money online, help people lose weight, help people find God, help people find their loved one, and you're not sharing your success stories and sharing your wins so that the people who are nervous to step outside of the boat aren't seeing it and aren't taking a change, then you're failing. All right. Our job is not about being comfortable in ourselves. We must accept that. We need to work towards helping others. And the best way to help others is to share that story. And so then we could talk about how to share it in a way that doesn't feel salesy. But the first thing we need to do is we need to be willing to be salesy. We need to be willing to be out there and mess up and make the mistake as we get better at not being salesy. But if we're too worried about making a mistake, then we're never going to paint with our paintbrush. We got to make a mess to make art, right? Number two, am I holding back because I fear looking salesy or being judged to talk about money? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great self question to ask yourself. Do you post less on social media because you're afraid of being salesy? And if so, comes back to this one right here. Is imposter syndrome keeping me from owning my results because I didn't follow the traditional path? Yeah, this is great, especially if you've gotten results that other people haven't really gotten, or you may be like a black sheep, you've done it a different way. The reason you're winning is because of the work you've put in, right? And so when we have imposter syndrome, there's like that guilt of, do we deserve it? Right? Is it all going to go away? All of this stuff, right? They're my friends and they're not winning and I'm winning. Is it fair that I have it? God is entrusting you with this because he knows that you're going to do good things with it. So if you're getting blessings, it's because you're expected to now share more blessings. So look at what you did to achieve that. And most likely it's serving other people. Whenever you have imposter syndrome, I like to come back to, if we thought of ourselves the same way that God thinks of us, then we would love ourselves. Because God in the Bible says, you're amazing. Unconditionally, I love you forever, right? I want you to thrive and prosper. Be fruitful and multiply, right? He wants us to win. So if we can come back and realize we do deserve it, we're here to win, then we can start getting rid of that imposter syndrome, right? And it's super important that we let that float away. And the best way to make that float away is continue to be disciplined. Because I don't know about you, but when I have a long day of work, I don't have imposter syndrome. It's when I'm laying on the couch. If I'm laying on the couch, that's when I'm like, man, I'm not doing enough, right? But if you are working every single day and you're doing your best, that imposter syndrome is going to absolutely burn away. And also, a lot of fear and anxiety will be housed in the gut. So if you're having a lot of issues of anxiety, confidence issues, look at what you're eating. Cut out the fried foods, cut out super fatty foods, get some clean foods, get some fiber, some greens, some fruits, right? Get a lot of fruit, get a lot of hydration, do an enema, do a 1 day water fast, clean out the body because that gut might be thinking for you. It's your second brain. I highly recommend people do 1 day fasts, 2 day fasts, juice fasts. That's going to get rid of a lot of that imposter syndrome. Cool. Why do I still feel going back to zero, even with proof that I've succeeded before? So check this out. When you get to a certain level, you can't go all the way back to zero. Like when I started, I was a waiter, right? In fact, when I very started, I was a lifeguard, and the only way I knew how to make money was to sit in a lifeguard chair and make $8 an hour, right? And if I lost that job, I would go back to having to try and find somewhere where I could make $8 an hour. Then I found being a waiter. And a waiter, now if I lost that job, if I lost all my money, I would go back to a waiting job where I made like $25 an hour. So now you can see the difference. I will never, ever again have to work for $8 an hour because I've learned being a waiter at $25 an hour, right? And then I learned entrepreneurship and I learned sales. And with sales, I was like, oh my goodness, I find an offer and now I was making $200, $300 an hour. I was making like 10K a month. And I realized I will never not make $10,000 a month ever again, because if I ever lose this, if I ever go back to zero, I'll just find another offer and keep making $10,000 a month. Then I built my own business, partnered with Ted, and now we're doing $1 million in revenue a year. And so I go, oh, well, if I ever go back to zero, if I ever lose everything, then I will just build the same business and sell what I need to sell and help the people to help, and I will always be doing $1 million revenue. So you can't go back down once you get to a point. You're going to get to checkpoints, just like from 8 to 25, from lifeguard to waiter. You're going to get to checkpoints in life, and the goal is to continue getting to those checkpoints. So you'll never go back to zero. You just can't. You can't go back to zero with the knowledge that you've learned. Do I downplay my achievements because I believe anyone could do it too? Dude, anyone can do it, but you've done it, right? There's so many people that talk about doing it, and there's actually a study talking about how you can get a good amount of dopamine talking about what you're going to do. And so people who talk about what they're going to do are less likely to do it, but you've actually done it, right? If you've done something and now you're training other people to do it, then you should not downplay your achievements. It goes back to, instead of thinking about how we're perceived, though this is less about like you worrying how other people are going to perceive you, this is more about your self-perception, which then comes back to clear out your gut, go to the gym, eat good food, get 7 to 8 to 9 hours of sleep, and you're going to be fine. Cool. I'm going to blast through these because I've got a call with our VIPs in 3 minutes. I'm afraid to, I'm worried. Am I worried that going all in on my beliefs make closed doors from reality? It could open the right ones. Exactly. You're answering your own questions, right? When you go down the right door, you are going to close options. When you find the woman that you love, you close the option of dating other women, right? And that's okay. We need to trust that we're doing this and trust in God and trust the universe that we're moving in the right direction and that we're doing the right things. If it feels right to marry the woman, marry the woman. It's okay to close some doors. We don't want all the doors open. Who was it? Bill Gates has his t-shirts picked out every single day. He never makes a decision of what to wear because he doesn't want to spend time thinking of that. It's the same thing with all the options. If you have less options, you have less to think about. Get yourself in a position where you have 0 options. Our best performing clients are the ones that are like, dude, I got to make 10K this month or I'm out on the street. You best believe they're getting 10K a month because they need to. So, dude, yeah, close those doors. What's wrong with closing the doors, right? Cool. Am I afraid of revealing too much of my strategy, thinking I might make competition? The information's already out there. There's nothing I'm saying right now that hasn't already been said. There's nothing a coach is out there revolutionizing. It's the wheel. The wheel is here. There's no need to reinvent it. The only reason that people are coming to you and coming to us is because they resonate with the way that we say it. Sometimes Johnny will tell me, dude, you need to go to the gym. And I'm like, screw you, Johnny. And then Ted will be like, yo, you need to go to the gym. I'm like, dude, you're right. The only difference was I liked how Ted said it. I like him. So there's not new information. You're not going to create new competition. There is no competition. You're just spreading your message. Okay. Same thing with like a saturated business, like, oh, everybody's a health coach. Is that because there's no money to be made or because there's tons of money to be made? So you should just get out there, share your truth, and the right people will come to you. I like to give away everything for free, tell away all my secrets. If you want to work with me one-on-one, you have to pay for my time. But I'll give you pre-recorded material all day because it takes me 12 minutes to make. Cool. Do I worry too much about how my current or future clients will perceive me if I share my wins? Dude, if they don't want to buy if they see your wins, then they shouldn't be your client anyway. You're going to attract, your vibe attracts your tribe. So by creating great content, you're going to attract great people. Am I clinging to my old freelancer identity instead of stepping fully into being a business owner? That transition takes time and it takes action, and you will transition by doing. So just continue to do things. There's not a hard stop and a hard start. Even if you were like left and got hired as the Bulls basketball NBA manager today, you still wouldn't 100% feel like the Bulls NBA manager today because that's just not how things work. You still feel the things from your past. Enjoy the transition. How much is my fear is really mine, and how much is the voice of others? A lot of it. A lot of it is programming. In fact, they say like 80% of your thoughts aren't yours, and most of the stuff just repeats day over day over day over day. So get out of your environment. Get away from anybody who's not in the position that you want to be in, at least for the time being. Only associate yourself with people who are in the position you want to be in and let them pull you up, and then pay it forward by pulling others up. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have more questions or limiting beliefs. Drop them in the comments, and I'll do my best to help you guys. See you guys on the next one. Peace.